How's everybody doing? Big Cheds coming to you live Monday, February 25th, 2019. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. I wanted to do a show. A lot of shows out there. When I try to do one, I put my heart into it. You know, I want to give you guys a good, clean read of what I see, what's going on. I don't have an agenda. I just like to talk to you. And we'll kind of start it there. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Big Cheds. You can find me on YouTube at Cheds Trading. Please subscribe. Definitely check out my good friend, my homie, Big Chonas. Find him on YouTube at Chonas Trading. And I am, of course, a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, best-in-class education platform for crypto. I'm really proud of my involvement in that project. Just to remind you folks, I'm not an advisor. I'm a Japanese candlestick trader. I like to teach people. I like to engage with you. And for all intents and purposes, this is for educational purposes. And so here we are. And we're looking at Bitcoin. Just to back up a little bit, I have the 12-hour chart. I like the 12-hour chart. We are just about an hour before this candle closes. This is an excellent time for us to be looking at this. So, you know, let's just kind of, let's just start from scratch here. And just, by the way, folks, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. It will help for search results later. And once you guys tell me how you're feeling about Bitcoin right now in the chat room, Jay, Dragon, Sarah, Malik, Baron, Pat, good to see you guys. Bunch of familiar faces. I see people are kind of coming in. So let's start out with Bitcoin. Let's get a little bit of perspective. So we have our low right now. And, you know, we'll do the 12-hour perspective. You know, in the weekly chart, we know we're right at, we're right around here, kind of generally in this area is that 200 period moving average in the weekly chart. So that's kind of your broader context. But here on the 12-hour chart, we need to put in a higher low. That's how a trend can reverse. So there's our low. Okay, now we have our higher low. All right, so we've got this low. Here's our next low. All right, so that's the first step. What about our highs? So we kind of have a series here where we can see this series, and we'll look at the differences between Bitcoin and the other and Ethereum and Litecoin. But we have a series of lower highs right here. So you could just kind of eyeball that. You know, you could draw a trend line, you know, if you want. So if you draw a trend line like that, what do you see? So you essentially, you see that the price was rejected roughly in that area, came through, it broke through with strength, with volume. Now, if you go back to every single video I've done, I've talked about the concept. Let's talk. What have I talked about? The concept of the size of the real candle body. All right. Here's one candle. Look at this candle. You know, I'm drawing a big line to it. This candle right there, the big one, February 8th. That candle, and let's clean it up. Let me just make it easier for everybody. You know, let's clean it up. This candle right here. Okay, look at the volume behind this candle. So both the size of the real candle body, that is the open and the close, and the volume behind it were suggestive of continuation. We had this continuation. This is a consolidation period. Remained above the midpoint of that candle, extremely bullish. Lo and behold, another candle right here. This was a candle of note. And the volume behind it was powerful and told us that this candle had to be reckoned with. What did we see? We saw bullish continuation from this candle. It broke up above, you know, tried to put in a shooting star, broke that, you know, formed into a bit of an evening star pattern. You could even go probably into like a 6-hour, maybe you get a tower top, or a 4-hour. You know, if you go down to a 4-hour, starting to talk about like a tower top. But really an evening star on the 12-hour chart. So we talked about the size of these two candles and the volume behind them. Now we have to talk about this candle. We cannot ignore that candle. All right. So what does that mean to us? Now that we say we can't ignore that candle, what does that mean? It means if we're going to be honest, we have to say, as Japanese candlestick traders, that the size of this candle's body, all right, that is the open and the close, and the volume behind it is suggestive of bearish continuation, right? So what does that mean? This is probably going to have one more leg down. What is it doing? That means, okay, we're doing a bear flag, we're doing a bear pennant, we're doing some kind of bearish. You have to assume this price action is bearish continuation and that we're going to have another leg down, probably not as big as that. So if we're looking for logical targets, how about a back test? How about if we draw a line roughly like that, you know, in that ballpark? What if we break down here and back test? And then bingo, all right? So if we were to do that, and I'm by no means saying we will, because if you know me, I don't like to predict. I'm looking at what has happened in the past. That's what a chart is. But I'm pointing out a potential, a possibility of what could happen. So if that happens, now maybe we get our higher low right there, and that would be our third higher low. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Let's stick just on the candlesticks, and I'll look at Ethereum and Litecoin, and then I'm going to do those chart requests for you folks, because I know that's why you're here. You don't want to hear me ramble about Bitcoin or Litecoin or any of that stuff. So let's just compare here. 12-hour. I want to get a little bit closer. Let's go. Let's do like 4-hour now. Let's see what's going on. 4-hour. So 4-hour Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean initially, I mean I'm not like buying any kind of break. You could say, oh, bull pennant break, but I would be very cautious. We have all this resistance here. It's broken through. That's going to be resistance, and just the volume of this candle. I mean, it has to have continuation, bearish continuation. So that's that. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum looks like bearish continuation, high wave spinning top. Trying to form a hammer candle, but the most volume is on this big red candle. Not exactly a Maribozu. Does not have a shaven bottom, but that candle tells the story. You're going to see continuation. So where am I watching? I'm just definitely watching here. We kind of touched that already. That's the candle shadow, real candle bodies right around there. Okay. So this right here, what are we doing? Some type of just a bearish continuation and consolidation pattern. I'm going to watch, kind of look for a volume trend, but I expect a breakdown to maybe the 130 level. If that fails, I mean, it's still in decent shape, because if that fails, you could still fall down here and hit all the that would-be support in that like low 120s level. And if you could establish kind of in the macro, in the bigger picture, and make that like your higher low, right? Low, you know, higher low. If you can kind of maintain that higher low, that's all that matters. So, you know, it's been a kind of a real nice move, but we can't ignore this volume here and some healthy consolidation, which could lead to potentially a continuation of this uptrend. We do have the 8 EMA flattening out, so this 8 EMA will flatten out, and we kind of want to watch to see if it can kind of break, you know, up over that 34 in a convincing fashion. That's what I would say for Ethereum. Let's check out Litecoin. What's up, Philip? M. Wint, good to see you. Nabil, KK, Nick, Valentin. So Litecoin, same thing. I mean, we're looking at bearish consolidation. We have this red candle just ekes of bearish continuation. It already kind of bounced off that level. I just think we're going to see a retest of that low 40s. Yeah, low 40 level. Certainly, yeah, like 40, 41. I think it makes sense to kind of retest that. And that would be healthy. I mean, anything, as long as you're essentially holding above $40, that would be ideal for bulls as a higher low. Because if it's not that, you know, we're talking about $32. So the point I'm trying to make is this is a key level of support that the bulls need to hold if it does indeed pull back. I'm going to go to my master watch list. I'm going to jump right into those chart requests for you folks. Let's take a look at that. The first one for Malik is looking for XRP. XRP, my man. Okay, let's check it out. Check out XRP. Appreciate you guys joining me here for the live stream. Appreciate that, everybody. So we're looking at XRP here on the 12-hour chart. We are seeing some indications of being overbought, and it's short-term overbought on the heels of a downtrend. So if we just look back here, we can see there's just kind of been a sustained downward pressure by the bears, and the RSI slowly resetting, kind of bouncing off 30. You know, the other oscillators, you know, kind of hanging in there, but you can just see that the downward pressure in the OBV, and you're seeing that in the volume, in the candles as well, and, you know, light to medium volume, but you're seeing that in the candles. And what you need to do to really convincingly, and of course we all know this is running, you know, bounce based on the Coinbase news being added to Coinbase, but in the macro, what you have to do is you have to start breaking these lower highs. So that's your high right there at 8449. So that's what you're going to want to look for. So the context, again, let me start from the beginning because that was a little bit mixed up. The point I'm trying to make is this bounce right now, you have to respect the fact that it's coming on the heels of a pretty big downtrend. So, like, it's easier for it to bounce. And it's not necessary. What you want to see is we're watching the follow through. And right now, there's not a lot of selling. That's a good sign. This is a good sign, right? You have your initial push, and on this follow-through candle, look, it's a bearish harami, but there's not a lot of volume behind it, which gives you the possibility for continuation. Japanese candlestick theory is that the midpoint of this candle should be support. Also, the size of the candle and the volume behind it do suggest continuation. So I think we can consolidate here and then take another crack that 88, 89 level, and I think that would be what should happen here over the next, you know, day or so. That would be my guess. Let's move on. Neo for Sarah. Sarah Meekley. Let's check out Neo. All right. I appreciate the thumbs down. Honesty is important. I don't need everyone to like me. You know, I just want to make a difference. That's what matters to me. So we're looking at Neo right here, and we're seeing a nice kind of a bounce back after this bear break. So we had this triangle consolidation, this rising wedge, bear break, and essentially regained this trend line. It's not really that well drawn trend line. I'm not sure what that was, when that was put up. It's roughly like that, you know. So it's essentially redrawn, regained that level, and right now we have kind of like a falling wedge that is trying to break out of, and we're watching the volume on it. So the volume was okay. It was not great. So that's how I see it. I see we have a consolidation here with a bear break. We have the push. We have the consolidation, and then potentially the break again. We have the oscillators that are cooled off, the Vigor Index not fully cooled off, but the OBV is strong, RSI mid-channel. So I would actually favor bullish continuation here on Neo. That would be my opinion, and I'd be definitely watching the price to hold this key level. This is certainly a very important level going forward. Excuse me. Let's continue on to ADA for KK. Yes, definitely happy to check out ADA. Take a look at ADA. Oh, Nabel, you're welcome. Oh, you're a Bitcoin Live member. You're talking about the watch list scan. He says, thank you for your video explaining what to look for when you're looking for a trade. Yeah, that's one of the segments I do for Bitcoin Live. Is when I record myself scanning this entire watch list. You can see there's a lot of plays on it. and I go through one by one, and I talk about like what criteria I'm looking for. I'm trying to teach you how to find plays. You know, I don't want you to have to rely on me to tell you, you know, when to buy, sell. You know, I can do that, of course. There are alerts. I put out alerts with buy, sell, and profit target, but I want to teach you. That's what I'm all about. So you're welcome, Nabil. So ADA, let's see what's going on with ADA. So we have our lower, obviously we have lower highs, and it looks, I want 4 hour. Let's go 12 hour. 12 hour is my, I like 12 hour because I don't get shaken. I don't get faked out so much, you know, by $150, $100 move in Bitcoin, you know, for example. So as I was saying before on ADA, we can see what jumps out to me. We see the lower highs, we see the lower lows. So we have kind of a downsloping channel here, downsloping channel. So and also look at the volume on this near Maribozu, this red sell-off candle. That does suggest bearish continuation, you know, pretty similar to Bitcoin. Now the difference is, so you see this kind of 3 candle formation. Let's compare that to Bitcoin. It's essentially the same one, but the difference is for Bitcoin versus ADA, right? For Bitcoin, it came on like the heels of like a bounce. For ADA, it's kind of come like after it's already had topped out. So with that being said, we do have very strong OBV. I think once this settles down, this might be an attractive trade, especially if we can hold. You know, we have higher lows. You heard me talk about that before, and I'm just marking them for you. So we have higher lows. This could be an attractive trade if we do break down and retest that 160 level. That could be attractive to me because we would have cooled off oscillators with on balance volume strength, representing kind of a high demand. You know, at that level, there's a demand for it. You're at a support. And the RSI would be cooled off. So I would keep an eye on that. Nick, you're asking me for ENJ. ENJ? ENG. ENJ? ENJ, okay. ENJ, not ENG. Let's take a look at ENJ. All right, whoa. ENJ, I mean, the chart doesn't really tell you much other than there's a lot of volume coming in, and it's already starting to cool off. I'm going down to the 1 hour. All right. So we're putting in, I mean, this is, wow. So this is a 1 hour chart. There's still 40 minutes left, and we are, I mean, the volume on this candle is already dwarfing the prior ones. So I can call it a shooting star all I want, but it's still, I mean, it's still got a ways to go. I can't, it's still, let's try 30 minute. All right, so we're probably putting in a profit-taking candle here. I mean, you have to respect the fact that the price jumped extremely high above the upper Bollinger Band. We essentially hit 3K, and the upper BB was at 2K. So, I mean, if you're not taking profit there, God bless you. So what's going to happen next? Look what happened last time. It bounced high above the Bollinger Band, pulled back to the EMA 8. So here's our EMA 8. Wait, you know, if you're interested, if you love it and you want to buy the dip, you know, wait for it to pull back to the EMA 8. That's what I would do. But I think you're probably going to see some more profit taking here. I keep going to smaller price, smaller time frame. Yeah. Probably going to form like a dark cloud cover here. So I think it's on a very nice run, but looks like a profit taking is setting in. And I kind of gave you a level of how to play that. Hopefully that will help you out. DGB for GLP. Let's take a look at DGB. Happy to take that request for you. Alrighty. All right, DGB. So, Digibyte. So, it's, you know, generally I like it. I like the fact that we have kind of in the broader sense here a double bottom. You know, one bottom, you know, two bottoms. You could say, well, Cheds, that's a triple bottom. I mean, fine. But this is really one bottom. It's like one bottom area. So, If you want to call it triple bottom or three rivers, go for it. You know, I'm not gonna give you too much trouble on that. But I think what we see here is we have a double bottom and potentially have a downtrend break, but I don't know if we're there yet. You can see it, but you can draw it. Boom. There it is. So DGB is bullish. We have two things. So the first, so look at that. So this is, you're looking for signs. You hear me all the time, guys and gals, talking about a red light, you know, turning green, or a green light turning red. You know, in between, in the middle there, you have the yellow light. Right? That's what's important. So we have two yellow lights here already, right? We have two yellow lights here already. Hey, Jonas. Okay, we'll check it out. So we have two yellow lights here already. We have the first yellow light from red is the double bottom. You know, the next yellow light, you know, we have this downtrend break. So we're thinking, okay, we could be heading towards a green light. So what do I want to see next? I want to see potentially a back test of that line and a bounce. And, you know, then you're going to want to see a break of this inverted hammer or this shooting star. But all in all, looks like DGB is breaking. I just want to say what's up to my good friend Jonas Trading. I want to remind you folks, you can find him on Twitter at Big Jonas and YouTube at Jonas Trading. We can never agree on anything except where to go have dinner or lunch. We do that a lot. Usually we can agree on that. So you want me to look at the Bitcoin monthly chart, Big Jonas? I'll do that, and then I'm going to jump right back to the chart requests on the BTC monthly chart. So Bitstamp monthly chart. Let's take a look. I mean, I wish you were doing this show with me. I could have you. I'm sure you have a beautiful setup with fib retracements and everything. Let me get in here. I'm having trouble here. It's kind of a disaster, honestly. Giving me all sorts of trouble in these higher time frames. Trading view. Total disaster. All right. So what do I think? I mean, what do you want to say? I mean, here on the monthly chart. Monthly. Okay, I mean, we have the pending 834 bear cross. I mean, but it's flattening out. So, I mean, if I'm just looking at marking up the monthly chart, I'm marking support. All right, 1200, fine. You know, marking maybe these lows right here. Maybe I'm marking that level. Okay, there. All right, now we're talking. All right, we're talking there. Okay, we've got a big bounce, you know, above the upper Bollinger Band, cross back below, looking for logical support. Maybe we're finding it here. You know, I'm not sure. We do have the volume trend break. You know, I'm noting that, which maybe would signify a bottom with this volume cluster. So, I mean, that's something that would jump out for me on Bitcoin potentially. You know, it's the first green. It's also the first green month, Big Jonas, so far in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So in quite a while. So that is another potential signal as well. Let's jump back to the next request. Xavier. I almost said Javier. Maybe that's how you pronounce it. Let's check out EOS for Javier. All right, what's going on with our good friend EOS? I'm going to pull out and take a look at the oscillators as well. EOS has pulled back over the last 24 hours on a very nice bounce here. We lost the EMA 8. EMA 8 was your support. Now we're hoping to hold the EMA 34. It has held before. So that's something we're going to want to keep an eye on. The lower Bollinger Band is all the way down here. But I do favor some type of a bounce here because we have pretty logical support right at that 8,200 level. If the you know, middle Bollinger fails and EMA 34 fails. But in the meantime, you have all these price gains. The oscillators have reset. RSI mid-channel, on-balance volume is strong. I think this has a decent chance, in summary, has a decent chance to bounce off that 8,200 level. Let us move right on. Oh, first is right, Xavier. Okay, I was just Javier. Let's take a look here. BTT, yeah, BitTorrent. Let's check out BitTorrent. BT. I have it in the other watch list. I got to add it here. The Justin Sun coin. They should have named it SUN. All right, BTC 23. You know, I feel like it's kind of hyped, which is why I don't like it. But, you know, I don't know. That can be good too. So, I just noticed something that is not good. I had noticed that the price had held 23 support for quite a while, and you can note in the last for 16 hours, you know, we've 4 times we've broken that. So I think the bulls are kind of losing the argument right now, and we should really shift our focus down to lows 20. So I think we're probably going to hit 20 here in the near future. You do have a little bit of bullish divergence with the Vigor Index, and the OBV is strong, but there's really no volume. So most of these signals are kind of junk, given the lack of volume. And really what's mostly important, in my opinion, will be a higher low. You really need to hold a higher low at 20. It's notable now we've lost 23. So that level is something, you know, we're going to have to keep an eye on going forward. MP is going to be the last one. Yeah, it does look ugly. Let's look at GLD gold coin, and then I'm going to circle back to Bitcoin. So gold coin. Let's see if it's on Binance. It's Bittrex too. Let me see if I have one with, yeah, just on Bittrex. So, I mean, there's really no volume going on with GLD. 4 hours. Let's try to get a broader view on the 12-hour. You know, some nice consolidation. Generally speaking, I like this consolidation. You know, after this move, this is kind of you know, you could, you know, symmetrical triangle type of a consolidation, and it looks like you may have put in a higher low. So that's, you know, that's what you want if you're in this for the longer term. But you have lower highs. So here's your high. We just broke through it. I mean, it looks overall pretty good, but there's really not a lot of volume in it. So, you know, I don't really know much to say other than just watch to see if it can hold that higher low at that 1600 level, and hopefully that is of help to you. Okay, I'll do one more. I promised it was the last one. VET for Harris. Let's check out VET. VET, 118 Satoshis. Here on the 12-hour chart, I have a level pretty well marked up, and look at that. Lo and behold, it was just rejected again, right where you could have expected it to be. So bears rejected higher prices, bears rejected higher prices, bears rejected higher prices, and again, right here, bears rejected higher prices. However, in this consolidation period, I'll simplify it. However, right in here, we do have higher lows. So we do have some type of an upward sloping trend line to keep an eye on, like that. So you're going to have to contend and see which one of those breaks, where you have essentially your resistance. There's your resistance roughly in that area. You have this upsloping trend line, support line. You can kind of draw it roughly like that, you know, higher lows. OBV is a little weak though, so I am skeptical that this is going to rally and break through. That's just my opinion. And I will circle back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 38.30. I talked about the fact that we have to respect that what the candles are telling us and the volume is telling us. All right. The volume is suggesting, in my humble opinion, that we should have some more bearish continuation from here. It does not have to be another big leg. Could just be kind of, you know, another couple $100 down. I would be keeping an eye on this down sloping trend line for a potential back test. So, you know, if we see that happen, that would be excellent for bulls, because you would have established a higher low. You would have your first low from 16th of December, your second low from the 9th February area, and then we potentially would have our new higher low here at the end of February, and that would be ideal for bulls. Once again, I want to thank everyone for joining the show tonight. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Big Cheds, and YouTube at Cheds Trading. Please subscribe. Please check out my good friend Big Chonas. He is on YouTube at Chonas Trading. He has a one-on-one mentoring program that you should definitely ask him about. And he's also a featured contributor where I am a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. There's a lot of unique educational content, timely alerts, I have a series on trading psychology, candlestick signals. If you want to find out more about why I'm involved in this project, you can see my webinar on my YouTube page. When you sign up, you get access to all the material, not just my stuff or Big Jonas' stuff, but Peter Brandt and Hyjin Lee and Bob Dean and everybody's stuff. You get access to all of it. We've recently added a monthly and a quarterly option for those of you if you want to try it out before committing for a full year, which is the best deal. And I told you I do that series where I record myself scanning the watch list. It's called, Let Me Teach You How to Fish, because that's what I want to do. I want to pass on what I know, and that's what's enjoyable to me. I like to see you grow. With that, I want to thank everyone for joining me for the show tonight. I hope to do another one here in the near future. But until then, I wish you all well, and Big Cheds signing out.